So hi everyone, my name is Renako Bailey and I am from Barbados. So from a young age, I was really interested in the culinary arts, medical sciences, particularly paramedic. I was also interested in, being a doctor, as most Caribbean persons are. But I quickly switched my passions, and when I discovered particularly economics. And one of the things I enjoyed about economics in particular was the development side of economics and how, looking at how economics affects persons, citizens, everyday persons. And through that particular love and passion, I was then able to easily transition within the advocacy space, particularly around women's rights and gender-based violence, which would have started with a group with the Canadian High Commission here in Barbados called the Youth Gender Champions.
And one of the themes that is commonly noted when it comes to gender-based violence, we do acknowledge that it is a fact, is that men are constantly perpetrating gender-based violence across the world. But what are we doing on the grounds in the world, operationalizing men, not just to be a cause, but move them from that position of cause to one of solution? And the thought challenged me. I spent quite a number of time thinking about it. I myself, as a young man at the time, would have been in an area looking for a space to share and to learn from other young men my age. I would have started an organization in 2020 called We Talking Boys, which one of the main focuses at the time would have moved men from a position of cause to one of solution. It is an ambitious goal in terms of looking at overall the statistics. But one of the ways that we've settled to do that, particularly, was in the element of peer-to-peer education. And we saw that peer-to-peer education in particular would have allowed our young men and young boys, enable them to be a part of a generation that helps um, the overall movement of men from a position of cause to within gender-based violence, particularly to one of solution. A lot of my growth in gender and development advocacy would have come from my volunteering. Um, my volunteering would have started with the Institute of Gender and Development Studies Nita Barrow Unit in Barbados, Cave campus. And today it has seen me being able to, for example, mentor an at-risk youth within our juvenile detention center locally. But being hands-on on projects, being hands-on in terms of some admin level sides of the advocacy work that we were doing, allowed me to see the direct impact that a lot of the projects, a lot of the activities we were doing, particularly within the University of West Indies Cave Hill campus, how that impacted our students and how our students were able to, essentially hold each other accountable, whether it be male or female, in perpetuating some of these, what I would call some of these gender violations that we often have within our society. My support system came definitely primarily through friends, friends who were essentially family to me. Without their support, because there were numerous challenges. One in particular, one of the concerns that I personally feared when I started my organization, We Talking Boys in 2020, was particularly in terms of the backlash. The backlash being, for example, a males group that has a feminist approach, keeps feminist ideologies, core feminist ideologies at the heart in terms of engaging its men and boys. How that would be perceived within the Caribbean, Barbadian context specifically, as it would have been seen as a quote unquote watered down version of masculinity. It's never easy within the advocacy space. I'm at the start of my gender and development career, I would say, and I don't think it's always going to be easy. Sometimes there's moments of uncomfortableness allows us to grow. And I think with the mixture, the balance, the growth, the season of growth, the season of being a bit uncomfortable, the season, there's stagnant seasons as well in terms of the journey that I would have experienced. I think those all combined would have allowed me to be who I am today and continue to be as I go on.